Let's move on to Latin America, where the migration crisis is escalating rapidly. The continent is plunging deep into chaos that pervades its politics, economy, and society at large, triggering movement of people to the United States illegally. The Texas border has been seeing illegal influx of migrants from Mexico for decades, but in recent years, people not only from Latin America, but Africa, Asia, and Middle East are also hoping to enter America through the Mexican route. But why is there a crisis? Here is a report.
Men, women and children cramped in makeshift tents. Families huddled together as the sweltering heat fills the air with a thick smell of unwashed bodies. Children play in the dirt as their parents queue for hours, hoping for food that is often not enough. This is not the Middle East of Myanmar. This is the US-Mexico border, where hundreds still await asylum in the land of the free. The crisis at the US-Mexico border has reached unprecedented levels. Over 200,000 migrants were apprehended in May alone. But these migrants hang in a limbo with a fear of deportation after US President Joe Biden's new restrictions.
Today I'm announcing actions to bar migrants who cross our southern border unlawfully from receiving asylum. Migrants will be restricted from receiving asylum at our southern border unless they seek it after entering through an established lawful process. And those who seek to come to the United States legally, for example, by making an appointment and coming to a port of entry, asylum will still be available to them, still available. But if an individual chooses not to use our legal pathways, if they choose to come without permission and against the law, they'll be restricted from receiving asylum and staying in the United States. This action will help us gain control of our border, restore order into the process. This ban will remain in place until the number of people trying to enter illegally is reduced to a level that our system can effectively manage.
But where are these people coming from? A major part of the migrant population hails from various Latin American nations. But since 2023, there has also been influx of migrants from China trying to reach the United States via the Mexican route. Up until a few years, citizens of Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras made up 85% of the migrants. But today, 54% of the migrants are Venezuelans. Other regions of origin include Central and South American countries like Peru, Colombia, and Ecuador, the Caribbean states like Cuba, Haiti, African countries like Ghana, Senegal, and Asian nations like China, Nepal, Bangladesh. These migrations stem out of a growing desperation of those fleeing violence, poverty, and political instability in their home countries. The continent faces severe socio-economic problems, including a collapsing economy, high inflation rates, unstable governments, and gang violence and climate crisis. Venezuela has experienced one of the worst economic collapses in modern history. According to a study by the Universidad Católica André Bello, over 94% of Venezuelans live in poverty, while Mexico, around 41.9% of the population lives below the national poverty line, according to the World Bank. Honduras, Guatemala have some of the highest homicide rates in the world. In 2022, Salvador's homicide rate was 52 per 100,000 people. Drug cartels across countries contribute to widespread violence as well, with over 34,000 homicides recorded in 2019, the highest number in decades. Frequent hurricane, floods, droughts, and extreme climate patterns are also adding to a burgeoning crisis. The Latin American countries are living in a chaotic present and stare into a bleak future. They face multitudes of issues, leaving them with no other choice but to seek better opportunities in the United States, albeit illegally.
I live in Argentina 10 years, and right now I have a dream. I want to live in America. for my family, for freedom, for a best life.
As the fight for US presidency intensifies, the issue of migration remains a major point of debate between the Democrats and the Republicans. But as people on top comfortably decide the fate of hundreds of thousands of migrants, several await a chance for a peaceful life without the fear of violence and starvation as they continue their struggle of the American dream.